call the General Government and Public Safety Committee meeting to order. Attendance has already been taken. Any comments from citizens?
I have one real quick thing. We was Linda Borman, 800 Jason Court. No, I haven't signed in, so I'll do that. I just wanted to, we talked at the last meeting about the utilities and turning it over to the landlords. I mean, I really think that what we're charging is not enough for a deposit and that should be increased. And in some of the rentals, I mean, we can budget bill so we can figure out what their utilities are for a year and possibly just charge them 2 months. I don't know what it would come to. It would be a problem probably in that you'd be charging different deposit rates to different people, and that would probably be an issue.
I don't think it'd be legal to do that.
Okay.
I don't think that we could just pick and choose. I don't believe it's the direction of the board to do
Okay.
the landlord agreement for the utilities.
Oh, okay.
So I am looking at some other options, and increasing renter deposits would be one of those options.
Okay.
We do different
I mean, that
rates
makes
for an
sense.
apartment versus a house.
No, I believe we could only do it renter versus homeowner.
You know, but the majority of it's in the renter side of it anyway. It's
It is,
not
yeah.
homeowners, and so, I mean, I think it would be smart to just go ahead and raise that deposit. I mean, $150 doesn't cover anything anymore.
No.
You know, so, anyway.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, we'll move on to the police department. Activity reports in the packet. Chief, anything you want to point out?
Don't have a whole lot. We've had a couple of, I wouldn't say high-profile sexual cases, but we've had some sexual predator type cases, and we've made some arrests on those. We'll probably be getting the traffic trailer back up and running. Now the weather's getting a little bit better, but other than that, nothing really.
Any questions for the chief?
I have a quick question. Out here, off Singleton out here, when you go out to the overpass to get out on 124, there's cars parked like a parking lot up there on the, up on the right of
Like
way.
that last house.
Yeah, but all the time. I've had 2 or 3 people complain about that, saying, you know, at night and this and that, you know, it's they're to be moved, you know, anyway. And I know they move those, but they're using that almost as a parking lot. Is there a way for us to see on a right of way like that if there's something that could be done? Because
We talked about that place before.
yeah, we did a little bit. My concern is if we know that there's people complaining about it, it's been brought to our attention. At that point, if somebody rear ends one of those vehicles sitting out there every night, 2 in the morning or whenever it may be, in today's world of litigation, everybody wants to be a litigant against somebody.
I guess I would have to say, how is it any different than any other street that cars are parking on? I mean, that'd be my first question, but.
I think as long as they're not parking in the MoDOT right away, I don't know where that cutoff is.
Well,
Because I don't think they're allowed to park in
They're
MoDOT right
probably
away.
parking in MoDOT park. right away.
It looks like there's 6 cars with
Well,
flat tires.
That wouldn't be MoDOT, MoDOT, that's not MoDOT, that's city road, so that's not MoDOT right away. It'd be city right away.
MoDOT right-of-way used to run almost up to the railroad, but part of that has been turned over to the city. I don't know exactly where the cutoff is.
I think it was where they added that new intersection, when they redid the overpass, I think that was all from there to the tracks, I think it's city right away now.
I'm not sure about that. It used to run all the way to basically the railroad, but the city took a portion of that over, and so now it's, I just don't know exactly where the cutoff is. It's not hard to figure out though. Or it shouldn't be hard to figure out.
Now, do that cars have flat tires, or was that sarcasm?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks
They
like,
drive 'em.
looks like there's a major traffic problem and a bunch of people have stopped to help, doesn't it? That's what it looks
at times it
like.
does, yeah, absolutely. Depending on whether there's 1 or 3 or 4 there. It just-
Now you got the
Or
example
none.
of what we're
Sometimes
talking
there's
about.
none. I mean, you've seen it. I mean, I'm just curious about what, if anything, can be done about it. I'll be able to check it out.
I mean, I see where the chief gets it, you know, if you do it there, then you're gonna have to do it everywhere. parking on the side of the street. You know, if it's a problem there, that's a wider street than any neighborhood street.
I know we've talked about some other streets in town.
If that's a
where
street, yeah, I bet it
It
is.
seems congested, but everything was legit.
One thing that, I mean, I think this was an example last time, is we've got some trailers that are parked on the,
Yes,
Yeah.
like RVs, parked
yes,
right over there, same thing, just,
yeah.
You have a question, sir?
Yeah, my name's Tim Granke, I live at 304 South Collier. Does the city have on-street parking in some areas and not on-street parking in other areas?
I don't think
I
so.
believe so, but I don't think that's one of the areas.
Yeah, I'm not sure if if Singleton Street is actually one of those streets that allows on-street parking on the west side of the tracks.
I don't recall.
Something we
I
check
can look
into.
that up.
Something to look into.
Mhm.
Good.
Okay. Anything else before we move on to the police, or move on from the police department? Okay. Mr. Rush? Anything for us? Anything you want to point out?
Just typical calls going on again and working on, getting a couple guys going to fire shooter school to learn how to shoot fireworks. And then we got some in-house training, some specialized training we're working on getting to a couple guys, so other than that, we're still par.
Any questions for the fire department? Anything for other public safety? Emergency management or?
Oh, well, okay, one thing, Chris Kelly with Emergency Management, is going to be next month to give us, we have an updated contract with them, so they'll be here just kind of talk about that a little bit at the next meeting on Monday, and, I'll have that ready for you guys to vote on also for the mayor to sign.
Moving on to number 7, economic development. We got a letter from the chamber. Brad, did you want to talk about this?
I'm here to try to answer any questions that anybody might have about that, but I don't know that there's anything I need to really present. We've got a lot of things coming up and looking to hire a director, and so just looking for some financial assistance from the city to help some of those things.
Any questions for Brad? Is this on our discussion at our next session? Or? No, it's not.
For the budget,
Yeah.
I mean, it can be discussed.
Okay.
I do have it tabbed.
Any questions for, anybody have any questions for Brad? Park board, looks like agenda and meeting minutes are in the packet. So library board in here also. Anything to discuss here? I don't see any committee reports in here. Number 11s are bills over $1,250. Any questions?
Repair on number 4, what's that, Myers truck?
36, 35.
Which one now, sorry?
Myers, implement number 4.
It's,
What vehicle is it, or equipment?
equipment number 4, it's a international truck, I think it's a
Dump
dump
truck.
truck. For, that would be the water department.
Any other questions? By the financial statements, anything, you wanna point out? No? Okay. Any questions on the financial statements? Brings us to number 13, a discussion on the COVID-19 pandemic leave.
Yes, so, the president has, stated that they are ending the national pandemic as of May. I apologize.
I think it's the 11th.
May 11th. I was thinking it was early May. So what does that mean for our pandemic flu leave that is still in effect? Do we want to end that with the president's dismissal or continue on? Because right now we are continuing to pay 10 days of administrative leave for calendar year for employees.
We're still
that have
doing
COVID.
that?
Mhm.
How long will that continue until?
Till we change it.
Till we change it.
It's till you guys say that we're done with that. The last time we talked about it, I believe it was before winter, and we decided to leave it on through the winter since the pandemic was still in effect, but they are ending the pandemic, so
Well,
it's one and
With the fact now that you're gonna get, you have the option of getting a flu shot every year, right? You're gonna have an option to get a COVID shot, basically to, handle whatever strain anything's gonna come through. So this is nothing more than a flu shot, as far as I'm concerned at this point. And if we don't do it for the flu, I don't know why, if the federal government or the state's gonna change the requirement, I would suggest we strongly think about following suit with that, due to the fact that it's become basically like the flu, and handled like the flu in general.
This is besides regular sick leave, right?
Yeah, right now employees do not have to use their sick
So-
time allotment.
You'd have to be tested for COVID to be able to use this.
Correct.
I mean,
I will just say one thing, if you're a new employee, I had 2 people that kind of ran into this. They got it within the first month or 2, or 3 that they were here, they had 0 sick leave.
You can
Just
get the
not
flu
out
within
there.
the first week or 2 or day you're here too.
What's that?
You can get the flu as easily as well.
I'm just throwing it out there because that was an issue.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, I think we should evaluate it. I would say we discuss it on May 15th, the Monday after what the president says he's actually going to let it expire. But maybe we need to evaluate our sick leave
That's right.
type thing as a general, maybe
So
it's
we
not
did-
10 days. Because we rolled them together, if I remember correctly, didn't we?
What do you mean rolling
The
together?
sick leave, or is it separate still? I
It's
thought we-
separate.
it
It's
is?
that the employee does not have to use their sick time. They're just paid directly when they need to miss work if they have COVID. Because of the, mostly it's because of the CDC guidelines that if you have COVID, you can't go to work for like 5 days. And then if you're not vaccinated, you've got to wear a mask. As long as you're not still sick, you have to wear a mask for 5 days after that to return to work. If you're vaccinated, then you can return to work without a mask. But, it, like I said, it doesn't affect their sick leave. But at the last, I believe, when we redid the union contract last year, it was changed, before you couldn't use your sick time for 6 months, now it's 3 months. So you do have access to sick leave at 3 months now instead of having to wait the full 6 months. And then there's always, if, special circumstances arise within the first 3 months, the supervisor could request, and then
Does that include the police department though, or are they a part of that same union?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not part of the union, we just kind of get wrapped up into their
Well,
negotiations, let's say.
yeah, all city employees, yeah.
I just was curious.
They all get the same.
I don't think we need to continue. I say we ended May 11th.
don't either.
I'm thinking, yeah, we look at it then.
I I
Very
say we
hard.
do it the 15th, we wrote on it then, if it
Wait,
actually
till it's
ends on May
mandated,
11th.
and
Yeah.
then you're following suit to.
Well, I have an ordinance the 15th of May then, so
Don't
we
forget
can
about
vote
it.
on it.
I'm gonna write on here to have it on the agenda.
I'm just saying, let's not vote on it beforehand, because if it changes, then we gotta vote on it again. 4
Very
days
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah, that's
wouldn't
fine.
be a
I
big
just didn't
deal.
see what we needed.
I agree.
I've had 3 shots and I got it twice, so I don't know what the shots, how they did any good.
I ain't had no shots, I never had it.
That's a whole nother conversation that I think we'll move on from. Any as may arise.
I mean, still, the shot
Get
didn't
that
keep it
wormhole
from
there,
getting.
babe.
No, we can't.
I'll take it, there's no as may arise. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Got a motion?
Second.
And a second to adjourn, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned.